Welcome to another edition of Walton Entertainment. Today we'll have more news, information, and entertainment from your local hometown. Welcome to another edition of Through the Camera. This week it's special. We're going to the Okefenokee Swamp. So grab your family, grab a camera, and let's go grab some memories. Okay, so the night's over. We've left the luxurious Super 8 motel accommodations, and we're out here at the Okefenokee checking into the cabin. It's going to be a week-long fun tour of what we can find out in this natural forest. Amazing stuff, we hope. Just watch and see what we can come across here at the Okefenokee. Out on the wilderness trail right now at the Okefenokee, as we walk, we can all see that this is where people come out to look at wild nature. Nature is wild, and that's what we're amongst today. Hopefully we can find something out of the ordinary.
Sitting in the middle of the Okefenokee, and I have us parked on a peat battery. And do you guys know what Okefenokee means? Okay.
I've been wondering that.
All right. So the bottom of the swamp floor is covered with what we call peat. And it's just a collection of decaying vegetation that settles down to the bottom. It's being broken down by microbes and bacteria, and methane gas is released in the process. So over time you get enough pressure from all that methane that it forces the peat to break loose from the bottom, and it forces it to pop up to the surface. So that's what happened over here. And it's created a platform for grasses and other vegetation to colonize on it and take root. Once it's completely covered with grasses like this one is, we call it a peat battery, because in the Civil War, soldiers could hydrate their ammunition deep down in that tall grass. They could float the whole thing downriver and move it from location to location. And when the Indians were here, they figured out they could walk across these thick floating mats of peat. And when they did that, it would move underneath their feet. They called it Okefenokee, or land of the trembling earth. So y'all see it moving?
Looks pretty strong though.
Uh-huh. So yeah, you can walk across that. Asked a friend in school what she wanted to be, and she said park ranger. I kind of went like, ooh, really? Why? I wanted to be a vet growing up, and I took freshman chemistry in college and realized no vet school was ever going to admit me into their program. So I looked at the list of majors Georgia had to offer, and all the way at the bottom down there next to women's studies was wildlife. That's what I want to study. That's what I want to do.
Wow, it's been a fantastic day today. Let's take a look back through the photo album. Thanks for coming along this week as we visited the Okefenokee Swamp. Special thanks to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources for all their help in making this segment this week. Thanks, guys. I'm reminding you as your photographer, Daryl Everidge, this week, grab the family, grab a camera, and go out there and grab some memories.
You're watching Walton Entertainment.
Good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm Dina Huff, Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth. And today my lovely guest is Bridget Love with Project Free. And I brought Bridget along because this is a very important program and lots of services that are offered to Walton County residents if they qualify. So I've asked Bridget to come tell us a little bit about Project Free. So I guess we can just start. What is Project Free?
So Project Free is a grant-funded program that's run out of the Walton County Extension Office and throughout the 12 counties that kind of surround the Athens area out of all those extension offices. And we're offering free relationship education classes for parents. We know that children are healthier, safer, and can thrive in homes where the adults get along better. There's really not any education out there for parents to remind them about ways that they can communicate, deal with stress and conflict in healthy ways, whether they are co-parenting with someone in the house or outside of the house. So we have classes for couples who are in a committed couple relationship. They don't have to be married. They just have to be in a committed couple relationship. And then we also have classes for single parents focusing on stress and conflict for a single parent, communication with a co-parent who may not be involved on a regular basis, but maybe they are, and just helping them build those future healthy relationships as well.
Okay. Well, what do families receive if they sign up for one of the classes?
So if they attend one of our classes, it's an 8-hour program, so it's offered either one night a week for 4 weeks, or maybe like a Friday night, Saturday, or 2 Saturdays. We try to alter it so we can get families into something works with their schedule. But when they come to classes, they get a free family meal. We feed them well. They get child care if they need it to participate, because we know some families just don't have a resource to come to an event.
Right.
And so we have child care. And then we also give them gift cards just for coming to class.
Okay.
So at each class, they're receiving a $10 gift card just for coming to class. And in addition to that, because we're the University of Georgia and we like to see if we're helping any of our families, if this is working for families, we offer them a voluntary opportunity to do a survey before and after the classes, where they can get up to $125 in gift certificates just for doing our surveys.
Right.
So they're getting all those things in addition to the skills that we're talking about in class in our education classes about what are some ways to deal with stress and conflict with your partner or your co-parent or just yourself as a single parent. What are some ways we could support that?
Okay. And I know you talked about a couple of different classes. Who exactly is eligible?
So for our programs, are the participants, excuse me, have to be adults, so they have to be 18 or older, and they have to be a parent. They have to either be pregnant or have at least one child 0 to 17. In addition, they need to be receiving some type of DFACS benefit, such as food stamps, Medicaid, TANF, or CAPS, or even an in-home service where someone comes into their home and provides a service for someone in the family. So that could be maybe Babies Can't Wait is coming out to their house, maybe they have a speech therapist working with the child in the home, or a counselor that's coming in the home, maybe the school visits their house. And so any of those services would make them eligible for the program.
Do you have a class coming up?
We do. We have a Walton County class for couples starting on September the 17th. We're trying really hard to fill that class so that we can have that for our Walton County families. So registration is going on right now. So we want families to contact us right away for that class, and then we will have a class for single parents in October. Okay. We have some classes in surrounding counties as well, and so when families contact us, if they're not able to come to the class we have next, we'll invite them to our next class. So we want people in these classes in Walton County, absolutely, but we also want that to deter people from coming if that doesn't work with their schedule.
And I know transportation is a barrier in Walton County.
Yes.
We all know that from experience. So we do want to fill those classes up in Walton County. So how would they register for the classes?
So if they can go to our website, ugaprojectfree.com, or they can contact our office at 706-542-9004. Either of those ways. On our website, there's videos about the program from participants who've done it before, so they can hear from other people about the fun of the class. But they also can fill out an interest form online, and then we will contact them directly. So that way, if they're online in the middle of the night, want to fill the form out, and then we'll contact them whenever they say is a good time to reach them.
Okay, so just kind of explore your website to get more information about the classes.
Yes, and it's pretty easy to follow. There's a link for couples, for single parents. We also offer an annual retreat in the spring for foster caregivers. And so that's actually, we've just had our dates come out on the website, and so families that are foster caregivers can find out about participating in that program as well.
Right. What about for the families? What about childcare?
So we have limited childcare because our locations only have so much space, but we do offer that for families that need it to participate. And so what would happen at class, everybody would come, the whole family would eat dinner together, and then we would take the children to childcare, which is usually at the same facility down the hall or something, where UGA staff or local approved childcare providers will be providing childcare for the children, help them with their homework if they need it, because it is at night sometimes.
Right.
So that way when we're done with classes, everybody's ready to go home, and there's not any leftover stuff to do when they get home at 8:30.
Yeah. So I guess let's clarify, this is not a parenting class.
That's true. This is not a parenting class in the sense that we're talking about healthy relationships, and we want to help our adults build on those things that help them in all types of relationships. If dealing with stress and conflict at home translates into dealing with stress and conflict at your relationships at work. So all of those things also trickle into parenting.
Right.
So we're talking about if you are able to get along with your co-parent when you're upset, when you're stressed out, all those things trickle in when your child somehow stresses you out or causes you some concerns going on, and how do you calm yourself down, and how do you have some of those skills to deal with it. So there is some benefits to parents trickling into parenting skills. It's just not specifically addressing parenting skills. So families that are looking for that, this is not that's not the main focus, but there is some benefits to that for participating in our class as well.
Okay. Well, I do encourage parents out there in Walton County, there's no reason for someone not to sign up.
Yes.
So just if you have additional questions, you can reach out to Bridget, and can they contact you directly or go through the website?
Yeah, you can contact me. All of my information's on the website as well, but my direct phone number at the Walton County Extension Office is 770-267-1326. And I'm happy to answer any questions, but my information is on our website as well, ugaprojectfree.com. And I did forget to mention, in addition to our relationship classes, our families are invited back to a series called Discovery Money Solutions, talking about financial stability and dealing with what are those families' financial goals, and what are some ways that the University of Georgia can help them meet those goals. And then when tax season rolls around, all of our families are invited back to get their taxes done for free or have their taxes checked by the University of Georgia staff and students as well. So those are additional benefits that they get past participating in the relationship classes.
Okay, good. Anything else?
The only thing is, sometimes people are concerned about, there's nothing wrong with our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, if we come to this class, you're suggesting there's something wrong with our relationship, and that's not the case. Our classes are really focused on what are you doing well, and what are some additional skills that we can help you with to continue elevating your relationships in healthy ways. And what we find is a lot of our families come through the classes going, we never really did that before, or we used to do that. Back when we first got together, back before the kids, and things were stressing us out, and we haven't done those things. And just taking the time to sit down and talk about it when you have childcare, when you have some alone time in our class, has been really beneficial to the families who've come through our classes.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yes.
So I hope that you won't hesitate to contact Bridget or go to the website and just kind of view what goes on, and sign up, because these are free. They're available to Walton County residents if you qualify. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the
this
opportunity.
morning. Yes. And I would like to add that we are doing a community needs assessment in Walton County. So we have reached out to a lot of our partner organizations. We are conducting meetings, and we will be conducting focus groups. So if you see us around the county asking a lot of questions about the needs of Walton County, that is what we're doing. And we hope to have that completed, hopefully, by the end of June of this year, or 2019, I'm sorry. So If you're interested in that process, please give me a call here at the office. My number is 770-207-3175 if you'd like to get involved with that process. So as always, thank you for watching.
Good morning. My name is Joel Burnson, and I'm the Walton County Extension Ag Agent for Walton County. Just wanted to give you a quick Ag and Natural Resource update from the Extension Office. Don't have too much to go over for the month of September. We're kind of winding down from the busy growing season and summer we've had. First, September, especially this first week in September, if you're a lawn person, now is the time to apply your pre-emergent weed fertilizer. This is the application you're going to make that's going to suppress your winter weeds that come up during the winter time. But the first week of September is when you need to apply that. So if you haven't, you need to run out to the store and get you some pre-emergent herbicide and put out. Next, now is a great time to be soil testing, whatever you may be soil testing for, your lawn, your garden, your fall garden, or maybe next year for your spring garden, and also your wildlife food plots. So if you haven't had a soil test, please stop by the Extension Office in Monroe and see us. And last but not least, I'd like to mention our Master Gardener classes are coming up for 2019, which will be they're held January through March on Tuesday and Thursday mornings here in Monroe. If you're interested in becoming a Master Gardener and volunteering with our group, please stop by the Extension Office and pick up an application, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Around the center, we're in full speed ahead, gearing up for our Rivers Alive event that's going to be Saturday, October the 13th. We're getting in our t-shirt orders, sizes and things like that, and hope to have that complete within the next week or so we can be picking those t-shirts up. I did want to make one, kind of last-ditch effort or opportunity for anyone that's interested in volunteering for the event. We should still have time to get in a t-shirt order and a registration and get you in with the group on a cleanup. So, feel free to give us a call if you're interested. It is a wonderful opportunity to volunteer for a worthy cause. So give us a call here at the center, 770-267-1421. We'll get you all the information you need on our Rivers Alive event. And then right on the back of Rivers Alive, we'll run into America Recycles Day. We're going to hold that on Saturday, November 17th. That will be from 8 to 12. The one thing we've confirmed that we're doing as of right now is the paint collection event. We'll be doing the paint collection again, and we'll give you more specific details as we get closer to the event. And we're going to tie something else in with the paint collection. Not really sure yet if it's going to be another tire amnesty or whether we'll do a document destruction. Those are kind of two things we're waiting to get worked out. But I will keep you posted as we go forward on that. Again, that's November 17th. That'll be a Saturday from 8 to 12. And again, if you have any questions, give us a call out here, and we're going to do our best to advertise it. We always get people that call in wanting to know what to do with paint, and then sometimes they happen to miss the event and hold on to it for another year. So we will try to get word out as best we can, help us spread the word about both of those events. It is important. Again, like I say almost every time on here, we've been busier than we've ever been here at the center, but it's what we enjoy. We're thankful. We're hoping all of our invites out here to our center has been part of the reason why we've picked up so many new customers. But come out and see us. Let us walk you through, get you started recycling if you haven't recycled before, show you some opportunities to recycle things that maybe you can't recycle through your private haulers at home. let us show you what we do here. Come in, we can show you our educational room, talk about some of the programs we do and why it's important. We'd really like to just show you what we're doing here and get you eager to start recycling. So come on out and see us. Give us a call if you need anything. And until next time, take care.
I'm Michael Davis, Program Assistant with the Walton County 4-H. And I want to enlighten you on some of the coming events for the whole year since we're just getting started. Each month we have our newsletter. It's called the Clovergram. Anyone is welcome to drop by our office and pick one up. These also go home through all our 5th graders, but we do want to mention that this is our up-to-date news. Of course, you can always check us out on our website as well. Some things that we have I want to highlight for this year. We have 2 specialty clubs that your children may be interested in. The first of these is the Goat Club. They meet on the last Tuesday of each month. This club meets at the Walton County Ag Center out on Criswell Road. They meet at 6:30 and run to about 8 o'clock. To be able to participate with our Goat Club, you must be age 5 and up. And Mr. Glenn Blair, he is our volunteer leader of this club. Miss Sarah Grimes, she coordinates our horse club, which meets on the 2nd Monday of each month, and they also meet at the Ag Center, and they start around 7 o'clock. This is primarily for ages 4th grade and above, the horse club. So those are 2 specialty clubs that we have. We have numerous judging teams that form throughout the year. 2 of these are ongoing right now. We'll be kicking off consumer judging here in the latter part of September, and wildlife judging has just begun. So if you would like to be part of these, you can contact me or Miss Cassandra Hainsworth at our office. And of course, our office number is 770-267-1324 for more information. Other judging teams that we have coming up, I'm going to make mention of our Horse Quiz Bowl group. Even though it's not a judging team, it's kind of treated like a judging team. Horse Quiz Bowl will kick off in October and run through January, which leads into horse judging. So if you would like to be part of Horse Quiz Bowl or horse judging, contact us for more information, but know that it will kick off in October. It's a great opportunity to learn a new and very useful knowledge and information about horses. Poultry judging will kick off in January, the first of the year, and will run through the end of April. If you want to learn about judging eggs, judging chickens, knowing the many parts of a chicken, how to know if your hens are good laying hens or bad laying hens, come out and join us for poultry judging. It's a very rewarding and unique experience for our young. Again, these judging events are open for 4th graders and above. Our SAFE program, that's our shooting sports program. As you know, we have numerous competitions there. Our sports program involves BB, air rifle, shotgun, and archery programs. These programs are age specific, so you may want to contact us for more detail on those. Archery will be kicking off very shortly. In fact, next week, September the 12th at 6:30. They will have their orientation meeting in Social Circle at the Ace Archery Store. That's next Tuesday, September the 12th, 6:30 at the Social Circle Ace Archery Store. That's the archery team. BB will kick off and formulate in the latter part of November or the first part of December. Our BB program is primarily for 4th grade and above through 8th grade. Our BB team just recently competed, received 4th in the nation. So good job there. Mr. William Carlin oversees our BB program. Our shotgun program will be kicking off here very shortly, and very soon in fact, and will run from the later parts of the fall months into the spring of the year. And they have done well over the years as well. So if you're interested in any of our shooting sports, contact us here at the office for more information. Again, that number, 770-267-1324. Project Achievement, something that a lot of our kids know as what they call the poster contest. We will get that started in November, and for ages 4th through 6th graders, and that will be kicking off later that time. And of course, County Council, which is for our middle and high school age students, County Council meets on the last Monday of each month here at the office around 6 or 6:30. Don't want to forget summer camp. Summer's not over yet, even though our camping season is over. For our Cloverleaf campers this coming year, we'll be going back to Rock Eagle. So summer camp will just around believe it or not, we'll be back here before we know it. And this year we'll be going to Rock Eagle the second full week in June, which I believe is June 10th through the 14th. We also have other specialty camps in the summer for our 7th and 8th graders and our high school senior 4-Hers in June and July. So if you want some more information about any of our summer camps, which the information is available now, contact us here at the 4-H office or come by and see us. We're at 100 North Broad Street in downtown Monroe. Again, 4-H, we're kicking it off for another great successful year, and we look forward to working with your children and working with your youth. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Peach State Wood Turners, and we've been in existence about 12, 14 years.
Well, this is a Beads of Courage box, and it's a segmented piece with different kinds of wood that's been glued up, and now we're truing it up so that we make a smooth surface on it, and then we'll be making a lid to go on top of it.
The bows are being made for a group called Beads of Courage. It is for catastrophic patients at hospitals that are dealing with cancer or blood disorders or whatever. And for each treatment they go through, they collect a little bead from the hospital. Well, they found out they needed a place for these kids to collect these beads. Therefore, the idea of the bows. Some of them get as many as 500, 600, 700 of these different beads for different things that they've gone through. And all these bows are made by volunteers nationwide, all over the country. People are making these bows that are donated to this organization to be given to the kids at the hospital. Our goal is to make 30, 35, somewhere in that neighborhood of these bows to be donated this year to that organization to be given out to the kids. Our club is just a loose fit organization of wood turners. We do this, some of us do it as a hobby, some of us do it and make a little extra money here and there, but we're all just a group of guys that learn from each other different techniques of doing wood turning. We make everything from fountain pens, ballpoint pens, to bowls, urns, tabletops, anything that can be turned on a lathe.
Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Caitlin Miller. I'm one of the new veterinarians at Monroe Veterinary Clinic. I wanted to come to you guys today and talk a little bit about vaccinations. With everybody headed back to school, I think it's a good time for us to make sure our dogs and cats are up to date on their vaccines as well. We also have a Facebook page where we're putting information, videos similar to this, about things that you might be interested in about your pet's health. So please feel free to check that out. You can see some videos similar. Our last month's series was about vaccinations in our pets and why they're important. One of the big things that I covered is that vaccines are important because they not only protect our animals' health, they also protect our health. So many of the vaccines that we recommend giving your pet are to prevent diseases that they could actually transmit to us. One of those big vaccines being the rabies vaccine. Rabies can be carried by any mammal, so any warm-blooded animal such as us, such as your dog, such as your cat, or the infamous raccoon that might sneak into your yard. That's why rabies vaccination is so important. It is given typically either once a year or once every 3 years. And if you're interested in determining if your pet is up to date and if your pet needs a rabies vaccine, please feel free to give our office a call. So one of the other diseases that we vaccinate against would be distemper, parvo, and lepto vaccination. That's actually a 7-way vaccine. A lot of the diseases that we're preventing with that vaccine you may not have even heard of. The reason you haven't heard of those is because our vaccines do such a good job of protecting our pets that many pets have never contracted those diseases. However, if we fail to keep our pets' vaccines up and if we fail to vaccinate our pets, then we do put them at risk. Leptospirosis is another disease that we can actually get from our animals or from the wildlife that come in contact with our animals. We here in Walton County, no matter where we live, certainly have interactions with deer, raccoons, possums, any wildlife, squirrels that could be carrying that disease could very well come in your yard, use the bathroom, and spread that disease to your dog. So whether your dog or cat is big or small, please give us a call and let us know if you're interested in talking about any of these diseases particularly. One thing people always get worried about is over-vaccinating their pet. The advice that I always give to that is that we vaccinate your pet based on its exposure and based on its risk. There are some diseases such as rabies that are deadly, and so we always recommend keeping that vaccination up, even if your pet rarely even goes outside, because if they were to contract rabies, they would not only risk spreading it to you, your children, your family, but it is a fatal disease no matter what. If you're ever concerned about the vaccinations your pet's getting, you can always bring them in for an exam. We always try to talk to you about their risk factors and see what's going to be the best combination of vaccines to not only provide them ideal protection, but make sure that we aren't giving them anything that's unnecessary. Again, my name's Dr. Caitlin Miller. I'm at Monroe Veterinary Clinic. Our address is 823 East Spring Street, and our phone number is 770-267-3690. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a shout. Thank you.
Recently, Miss Barbara Ray came by the Porterdale Police Department, and she said that her grandson was turning 15 on Monday, and she wanted to bring him by and let him just look at the Hummers, maybe sit in them if it was possible. So I told her I didn't see where there'd be a problem, and I got with Chief Cripps. He wanted to definitely let him see the Hummers, but we wanted to go beyond that. We wanted to really make it special for him.
Here we are again to celebrate one of the local children in our community. His name is Juan, and his grandmother came to us and asking us for some help and wanted to make this boy's dream come true. As you can see, we've got the whole department here. We're going to go over there and have a little birthday party for him. I think it's going to be a great thing. It's something I want to see the community come together as far as the police department and just kind of move forward and bring that camaraderie back together.
Officer Jay. Today is Juwan's birthday, and he's turning 15. He's very interested in police and the Hummers, so he would often go by just to look at them. He asked for his birthday if he could go sit in the Hummer. And so when I went by to check and see if he could come sit in the Hummer, they made this happen.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Juwan. Happy birthday to you.
It means a lot for our student. The student's parent actually came up and mentioned to me that the police department wanted to share in the student's birthday, and it grew into something bigger because we're going to invite some elementary students over as well as our two GAA classes. We're going to invite them out here so that all the kids can have an opportunity to see some of the cars that they have here, as well as tour some of the vehicles and just make it a special moment for the student Juwan.
It's like God went before me and opened up a whole new heart, because I went to just get permission for him to come and sit in the Hummer, and they said no, it's worth more than that. So it's just a blessing. God has just been so good, and now Jawan's world has opened up to a new place where he will be involved with the police of Porterdale in parades and giving out Halloween candy and going by and working in the office, and it's like, yes, you know, a whole new world.
Your badge number is 325. I think today was a wonderful day. I'm very proud to be the chief. I have a good, great community backing me. I've got a political arena that backs me as a chief, and you know, we have a good city manager, and we have a good core group of policemen. And you know, I couldn't do what I do without them.
We are so excited to be here for a ribbon cutting and open house. Finally, talked them into it. For Georgia Connector Magazine and Peach State Publications. Kenny Smiley, my other half, my better half sometimes, right?
Not usually.
Is the owner of Georgia Connector Magazine and co-owner of Peach State Publications, and Eli Luciana is the other owner, co-owner of Peach State Publications. And I'm just excited for y'all, excited for your location here in downtown Monroe, and I'm going to let the mayor welcome you, and then we're going to let y'all tell us what you do.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I really like coming tonight because these two are downtown, and so to actually have them here is just, it just fits. It's right across the street from City Hall. So when folks come throw things at me, I can come over and, you know, beg for sympathy from them. They actually listen sometimes, but they are a part of us and have been for so long. It's nice to officially welcome you, but unofficially, I'm just glad you're still here.
So glad to be here, and yes, I am Kenny Smiley with Georgia Connector Magazine and regional publication, and hope you've all seen it. If not, please get you a copy before you leave. And it's just really humbling that right now, really last week, marks 8 years that I've actually been in Walton County, and 8 years ago last week I started my company, Georgia Connector. So just really excited about it, and it's a quarterly magazine, and it just, you know, it's my baby, and just really enjoy being a part of it and having you all be a part of it. So that's what led me to meet this fine young fellow right here, Eli Luciana, and a colleague of mine, and now my business partner with Peach State Publications.
So yeah, we are Peach State Publications. We have been in business just over 4 years, and we do custom publishing specifically with chambers of commerce throughout the Southeast. We've done the Walton magazine, their map. We actually have Newton County, who's here with us today. We just put their their magazine to press today. But we work with chambers throughout the Southeast doing all of their custom publishing and marketing.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. We're here on second Saturday open mic night, and we do this every second Saturday of the month.
Tori Bailey is proud of her Georgia roots and Southern drawl. She is the author of the Coming Home series, including the titles of Second Chance and Goodbye, Ethel's Song, and Love Made from Scratch. Her short stories have appeared in Chicken Soup for the Soul, My Very Good, Very Bad Cat, A Cup of Christmas, and The Dew on the Kudzu blog. She's also a contributing writer for Walton Living Magazine. Tori's with us this evening.
Now, growing up in the 70s, and that's the 1970s for you younger ones who think I'm a little bit ancient here now, money was a little bit tight in our household because of inflation. So to make a dollar stretch at the grocery store could be a little bit of a challenge. One of the things that my dad did to kind of help us through the hard times of the 1970s and all the inflation, and some of y'all remember that time period, is he liked to hunt during the fall and winter months. Now guaranteed, if anything ended up on the wrong end of his gun, it was pretty much a sure thing it's going to wind up on our dinner table. And during the summer months, he liked to fish. Now, one of the things that we learned as kids was never to ask what's in the stew, because you wouldn't want to know the answer. Now, even as adults and grown kids, when we would go and visit Daddy and he'd invite us over for a meal, we knew not to ask what's in the stew. Now, bless my husband's heart, he's from Tennessee, and he wasn't quite used to some of the rural ways of my family, and I forgot to tell him, never ask Daddy what's in the stew. And bless his heart, he made that mistake on the first visit to Daddy's house. And I think he regretted asking that question once he got enlightened by my father, as he gave a little gleam in his eye and a twinkle, and he said, "It's turtle." I told him, I said, "Be thankful it wasn't frog." But along with Daddy doing the hunting and the fishing, we also had a garden every summer. Now, my mama was the chairman of the garden. That was her job. And my mama believed that you had to be up and in the garden, working the garden by 7 a.m. in the morning, because that was the coolest time of the day according to her weather prognosticating. So we worked in a garden. Now, our garden wasn't like these cute little inky-dinky little container gardens you see on Pinterest nowadays, or the little hobby gardens. No, we're talking about a huge field of a garden. We're talking about rows and rows and rows of beans, corn, squash, cucumbers, watermelon, cantaloupe. If it could be planted, it went in the ground right after Good Friday, because you never plant before Good Friday. So once we got through working in the garden, and it didn't matter if we worked in the garden the past 2 days, we had to work in the garden on the third day, because there was weeds to be pulled, there was the rows that needed to be hoed, and then there was vegetables that needed to be gathered. Now, about midday, Mama would always break us off and say, "Okay, let's go on in the house," and she fixes either a cucumber sandwich or a mayonnaise sandwich. And we always had great Kool-Aid, but it wasn't the real Kool-Aid, it was the Flavor Aid, where you get it for like 3 cents a packet versus the 5 cents a packet. My mama was so tight that she could make Lincoln slide off of a penny. Then in the afternoons, that's the time when Days of Our Lives and Another World and The Doctors came on. That was a reprieve for us kids, because that meant we got to sit in the living room underneath all the big box fans, because we didn't have central air and heat. And we worked whatever we had picked in the garden that day. And Mama watched her soaps. Now, one of the things that our family did is we didn't do big family vacation trips. Okay, a trip for us was a weekend down at the lake, or the backup water is what we used to call it, camping down at Clark Hill, or getting to go and spend some weeks with your cousins. Well, I had some Thompson cousins, and it was their time to come and visit us. Now, they come from a family a lot like mine. Where we lived on like a small couple of acres of land, they lived on a farm. Their farm had horses and cows and ducks and goats and pigs and chickens, and they wasn't pets either. They wound up on the table too. And then, of course, on their farm too, they had a couple of small ponds, and one of the nighttime entertainment for the men when we would go and spend a week or weekend down there would be go frog gigging. Are y'all seeing a theme here with the frogs? But anyway, sometime during a couple of my visits down there with them, I got to learn how to milk my first cow. It really hurts when they step on your foot. And then also I learned that I didn't like it when my cousin says, oh yeah, come on down and spend next week with us. We're going to be doing killing chickens on Saturday. It took a long time for me to ever like to eat another piece of fried chicken. And that's another story for another time. But anyway, it was my cousin's time to come and visit me. And now Uncle Alan and Aunt Edith decided they were going to try to have kids, and when they did their first try, I think they thought the hospital was giving them a 2-for-1 price, and they came home with a set of twins called Ann and Jan. So I guess Uncle Alan wanted a boy, so he talked Edith into trying again. Well, I think they thought that since they got that 2-for-1 price so good the first time, they'd do it the second time. They had a second set of twins, and that was Sharon and Karen. So Sharon and Karen, also known as Jake and Shine, came and spent a week with me. Now, just because I had company, because cousins wasn't company, they were family, didn't exempt me from having to get up at 7 a.m. in the morning to go and do whatever Mama wanted me to do in the garden. And the cousins didn't get exempt from it either. So we went and worked the garden on one particular day, and after everything was done and it was the evening time, late afternoon, Mama said, now you girls, y'all go on and play. So we'd finished supper. She had another mess of butter beans that she needed to finish shelling. So she said, y'all go on and have yourselves a good time. You know, and that's back in the time when kids could go out and running around in the backyard barefooted. I mean, she used to touch our feet from May to September, unless we were going to church. You know, so we would just run around and have a good time and wait until the yard light came on, and that's when we knew we had to go in the house. Well, Sharon and Karen and myself, one of the favorite things we like to do is we love to play house. We love to role play being grown-ups. Man, we should have picked better games, because we really didn't realize that when we grew up, playing house and being grown-up was not a whole lot of fun. But anyway, so we decided we would go off into the woods beside the house, which was tall, good old beautiful Georgia pines. And we picked this perfect spot, and we said, this'll make our house. So then we just said, well, we got to get stuff for our house. So we went and we started rambling through the junk pile, because this was before we had landfills and dumpsters. You just had a junk pile that when things broke or wasn't any good anymore, you just threw it out. Well, we found us a rake. It was missing a few prongs, but that was okay. It made a good broom. Found an old wobbly pot. Found an old baker's rack that was missing a leg, but that's okay. We could make do with that. We found everything we needed for our house. So we took it back to that little grove of pine trees, and then we said, well, our house needs a section. It needs to look like a house. So then I said, well, let's go to Daddy's wood pile. So we went over to Daddy's wood pile. We found a couple of 2x4s, a couple of cinder blocks. So we went back and we were busy. We were cleaning up our house. We raked up all that pine straw. You could just see that pretty smooth earthen floor. We took those cinder blocks and the 2x4s and we sectioned off our house. And it was a pretty little 2-room house underneath the pine trees. So we said, you know what? Whew. All this work has made us hungry. Let's go fix something. We got to go fix us some dinner. But what are we going to do? Well, Karen says, well, let's just go and see what we can find out in the yard. And I said, okay. And Karen's like, okay. And one of us said, well, bring the pot. And the other one says, well, bring that pitcher. We're going to need some water to put in our pitcher. And so we went out in the yard, and I found me a good old mess of poke salad, and I said, hey, this will make some great turnip greens. I love turnip greens, still to this day. So anyway, my husband hates it, and it's getting turnip green season, and he knows I'm about to start stinking up the house, cooking a half a hog in my turnip greens. But anyway, so I got my poke salad, and Sharon says, oh, these white rocks will make great potatoes. And then Karen was like, well, I'll just scoop up some of this brown dirt out of the garden. That'll make a good brown gravy. And then we went over to the garden hose and we got us some water. And then Sharon, this is when it all went downhill. She says, well, we just got the makings for a soup. I wanted a stew. we need some meat. I says, well, I don't know where we're going to find no meat, Sharon. And about that time, lo and behold, I don't think it was the Lord's hand intervening on this, but this medium-sized brown frog appeared. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't like frogs. I didn't like touching them, I didn't like seeing them, and I sure didn't like the idea of them being in my suit. Because I went to Sunday school class with one of the meanest boys in our community, Tommy McCree, and he started making fun of me one day, and he says, you know why you don't want to touch a frog? And I said, no, why do I want to touch a frog? He said, because it gives you warts. So I knew then I didn't want anything to do with this frog. So Sharon and Karen says, look, you just take care of making sure the house is clean, and we'll take care of cooking the stew. I was like, all right, because I don't want no warts. So we passed by Mom, and she was sitting in a rocking chair, and she had, you remember those old white enamel dish pans with the red rim around them? She had hers. That was her shelling pan. And she was sitting in that rocker, and she was enjoying the night air, listening to the whippoorwill sing, and she was shelling her butter beans. And she said, what you girls up to? What y'all fixing? We said, we making stew. She says, all right, well, y'all go on and have fun now. She knew what we were up to because she'd been hearing us chatter, because, you know, we learned to talk in sawmills in my family. So anyway, so we get back to the house, our little house under the pine trees, and Sharon and Karen, sure enough, they started putting everything together, and that pot was looking really good. That brown dirt and that water was making a good thick gravy, and that poke salad and them white rocks that were our potatoes was giving good texture. I mean, now you'd almost think we had something that you could present to the judges on Chopped, and they would tell us that our basket ingredients were really good. Well, about that time, Sharon says, well, we need to put the frog in. And I said, I'm out of here. I ain't doing nothing with that frog. So sure enough, they put the frog in, and you know, the frog, he was happy. He was like, oh, this is the life. I like what I've got here in my little pot. And Karen says, well, we need to go show Aunt Carolyn our stew. That was my mom. So sure enough, we three girls decided we were going to go show Mama our stew. So we put a lid on top of the pot, and we go running up to Mama. Sharon's in the middle carrying that pot. And Mama says, what you girls up to? And we said, we made frog stew. You want to see? Mama says, sure. Sharon says, sure, Aunt Carolyn, here it is. And she lifted that top up, and Mama leaned forward. And I tell you what, I ain't never seen my mama make the moves that she made. She started dancing and gyrating, and I know she grew up in the 50s and the 60s, and I know they didn't make those type of moves at the sock hop she used to go to with my daddy. She started spitting. She started sticking her tongue out, and Mama said no lady ever stick her tongue out, because you never know where it's been, and you knew a chicken might come along and think it was dinner. But she was like, she's kind of sounding like a cat trying to hack up a hairball there for a while. And she was just taking the hem of her apron, and she was just wiping her mouth. And we were looking in the pot, because we're like, where's the frog? Well, I think the frog realized that his oasis was his demise. So about the time we lifted that pot lid, he thought that was the time to take his action on his escape plan. But what he didn't count on, and what we didn't count on, or what Mama didn't count on, was that frog landing in her mouth. Now, I thought we had killed my mama. I thought she was going to die from warts. I said, oh, Lord, somebody please go call 0. Call the operator, dial 0. Because back in them days, we didn't have 911. We only had O for the operator, and that's who you called when you needed help. And then Karen was like, oh, go get that orange stuff, that macaracorn or something. She puts it on everything. It'll make you better. But finally, Mama gained her composure. And she says, girls, I never want to taste that frog stew again. Now, we lost my mama this May. It was kind of unexpected. And even before she passed away, we 3 girls were together at a family event, and we still laughed about that afternoon when Mama ate our frog stew. Thank you guys very much.